Hi Tessa, welcome.
Hello, Leora.
It is just lovely to welcome
Thank
you.
you.
And what we'd love to share today is the potential of menstrual cycle awareness and exercise.
Mm.
And of course, you're a yoga teacher, so what that might mean with what you teach and what you bring to women.
Yes.
So that's our intention today. So just a bit of introduction about you, Tessa. So you are a mum of two girls.
Yes.
And you've been a British Wheel of Yoga teacher since 2004. So you've been sharing the yoga love for a good long time.
Yeah.
And you're specialising in prenatal and mother and baby yoga. Yeah.
Yeah. My strapline is yoga for every stage of a woman's life. So I try and cover, different parts.
Covering it all. Now, part of today's session is going to be a gift from you of a yoga nidra, which I'm looking forward to later. So you are a womb yoga teacher and a yoga nidra teacher under the tutelage of Uma Dinsmore Tully. So that's bringing Uma's wisdom in here as well is going to be precious. But you know what I really love of all the information that you share about yourself is that you hold a highly commended silver award in belly dancing.
Yeah.
And I've seen you belly dance, so I know how much joy it gives you. And I absolutely adore that that on your website you describe belly dancing as an ancient form of birth education. I just love that. I love how you're marrying the two together and finding such joy. You get your mum's belly dancing.
Yeah, well, I trained a few years ago to teach dancing for birth. So that includes belly dancing and African dance and all kinds of different kinds of dance that basically get the hips moving. And just encourage the mum during labour to be moving as much as possible if that's what she feels like doing. Yeah.
Wonderful. All fitting in perfectly. So we spent some time together last year, some really precious time together last year at the Women's Quest Apprenticeship, and this year as well as we're training as Menstrual Medicine Circle facilitators. So the time, it's not often that women spend this deep amount of time together, and what I love being in a room with you in a group of women is how you really just you have a really peaceful and centered wisdom about you that just resonates out into the room. So this is a real joy to spend this time with you and share that wisdom with other women.
I'm sending the love right back.
No.
You're
so the potency of the teachers of Alexandra Pope and Uma Dinsmore Tully. I mean that's where the womb yoga and the exercise can really be brought together with menstrual cycle awareness. So how's your teaching evolved over the years after working with such potent teachers?
Yeah, it has changed a lot. Really practical things like I started to only teach in a circle now. So I don't have rows in any of my classes, so people can't hide at the back, or it doesn't put me in a special position at the front as the teacher. We're all part of one circle, and every single class I teach is like that. And it really changes the dynamic of what happens in the class. And going along with that is I ask people to always introduce themselves at the beginning of the class. So what I didn't, when I used to teach in London many years ago, I didn't like the fact that you tend to go to a yoga class, then you'd all leave, and you really had no sense of who'd been in the room with you. It's very anonymous.
Very anonymous.
Yeah, so as a teacher, I wanted to cultivate a sense of community, and just by introducing yourself at the beginning of the class, and I usually will say, can you share 2 words about what your day has been like? Because that also helps me to pitch the class. If I just find that everybody is saying that they're exhausted, I'm not going to teach a really high energy class. I'm going to give them some time to just rest deeply first and then begin to bring the movement in. But it just enables me to see where people are at. And it's gorgeous because people do make friends from those classes, and
well, I guess it
not
sounds
anonymous anymore.
Not anonymous, but also being listened to. How precious is that in a big class?
Yeah, absolutely. Just being really met with where you're at that day. And I think the other big change I only teach women now. That's another change, because initially I taught mixed classes. But with my general women's class, we always start with a yoga nidra. So it's kind of radical, because generally in a yoga class you tend to have the relaxation at the end.
Yeah.
But it works very well because it follows a pregnancy yoga class in the evening. So it starts at 8 o'clock. So it's fairly late for a yoga class. And so what I find is that people come and they have a chance to switch off after a busy day at work or looking after the children or whatever it is that they've been doing. They really settle into the space. And the main thing is that they are so kind, so much more kind to their bodies afterwards, because they go, oh, yeah, actually, I just don't have that much energy. And I always give permission. I say, if you want to, you can spend your whole class lying down in that position. If you're really tired, I don't mind. I've never had anybody take me up on that, but the permission is there. But it does mean that people recognise where they're at, and then they can respond to that. Whereas I have friends who teach classes, and they reported teaching yoga nidra at the end, and people were still in this beautiful bubble of relaxation, and they get on the tube. Also, practically speaking, that we'll have the yoga nidra at the beginning, we do the movement, and then at the end there's a little bit of meditation just to finish and close.
So they come back centered at the end as well. So what a beautiful beginning and end. Gorgeous. Okay. You're in Reading, aren't you? That's not fair.
So that's how, I guess, Uma, there's sort of some strands from Uma that has affected how my yoga classes have changed.
Yeah.
In terms of the menstruality work, which has come more from Alexandra and Shani, I do in the class at the beginning, sometimes when I'm asking for 1 or 2 words, I'll ask, if you know where you are in your cycle, can you share that? And just say a little bit about how that is for you. And it's been amazing to give, again, it's about permission where they're at. And I explain, well, it's good for me to know, because then again, it's about pitching the class and how much energy we're going to use and what you really need to receive.
Yeah. Oh, the essence of menstrual cycle awareness.
Yeah.
Oh, lovely. So, Tessa, you have created some really beautiful and gentle videos, seasonal videos. And what I'll do is I'll create a link to this video as well, so women can click on and enjoy whichever season they're in with you. So I'd love to hear more about the creation of videos and what they do offer women.
It really struck me that women can really push themselves throughout their cycle. So they've decided, yes, I'm going to exile, sometimes as if they're going to let themselves down if they don't carry on with that commitment, or that intention that they've made. Deeper and deeper into the menstruality work is that there are times when you just need to stop. And my biggest acceptance of that was postnatally, because particularly as a yoga teacher, I felt like, I need to keep my practice up. I'm going to be not a proper yoga teacher if I'm not keeping up with my practice. And it was a real letting go of thinking, I'm recently postnatal, I've got a lot going on, and I actually just need to drop it completely. The only thing I did for a long time postnatally was yoga nidra, because that really nourished me very deeply, physically and emotionally, spiritually, everything. And that's all I could really have the energy for, alongside caring for a baby. And once I accepted that and let myself do that, it was just so wonderful. And I think it's really the series. When I made the 4 videos, it was to say to women, it's not necessarily that you will be doing these precise postures or these particular movements, but when you watch through them, to understand, well, there is a shift. You're right, they're all gentle as a whole, but for example, the summer one is more of a standing practice, whereas when on my heaviest flow day, I need to sit as much as possible, otherwise get a real aching in the groins. So the winter one is a seated one or a lying down one. And I was also really keen to put across to the women who watch it that this is just my example, because you might have a very different experience of your inner seasons. And so somebody might actually feel that in spring they have a real sort of uprush of energy and they want to put that into a more energetic practice. And it's not for me to say that that would be right or wrong. So it wasn't that I was trying to give specific postures to do at a specific season, but to say, look, let's change it as we go through our cycle, and our energy levels change and our concentration changes, for example, because when I'm in winter, I'm just in a naturally meditative state. I could just sit and be in meditation, really. Whereas when I come around to summer, totally different story. I'm much more up for stronger practice. It takes much more focus to sit down and try and sit in a sort of formal meditation practice. So,
but you do invite the women to be where they need to be.
Yes.
So it's not when you watch them, they don't feel instructive. They feel flowing and open.
Yeah, good. I'm glad that's come across in there. Yeah.
No, they do. It's the essence of the menstruality, though. It's each woman's story, isn't it?
Yeah, and this constant awareness of checking in with where you are and beginning to notice patterns and being able to respond to what you need most. Building in the rest and seeing what effect that has through the cycle.
Yes. Okay. Watch the videos, my dear women. Watch the videos. I mean, it's really, really powerful work, isn't it? Inviting women to explore their own menstrual seasons. It's and to be able to do that through the form of yoga. It's a gift. It is a real gift. But I'm wondering, what does menstrual cycle awareness look like in your own practice? In your own practice of yoga, or your own any exercise, really?
I guess most of the time I don't actually think about exercise as such. I like the word movement. Because I think that helps get away from this sort of feeling I've got to do so much exercise a week for my heart, or this sort of health policy driven Um, so as much as I can, I like going for walks in the woods. I've totally switched over to barefoot shoes now, which have a very thin sole, so that you really feel what you're walking on, and that exercises moves the feet really beautifully. So bringing a mindfulness when I'm out and about. There's a lovely biomechanist American lady called Katie Bowman, who's written a lot about how you can move, and she loves hanging off trees. So if I'm out in the woods and I see a branch that's the right level, just being really playful with movement, actually. So rather than thinking, I have to go to the gym 3 times a week and it feeling like a drudgery, or trying to find joy in different ways of moving.
Hanging off a tree gives you muscles a great workout as well, doesn't it?
Yeah. And so hence the belly dancing as well, because that's done, well, the type I do is done barefoot. So it's that real connection with the earth again. It moves my body in a very different way from the yoga. And it's very feminine as well.
Yeah.
So I've been trying to explore different kinds of movement that fulfill different things for me. And through the summer, my inner summer, I will be much more active. I'm much more likely to get out in the garden and do heavier pruning, things like that. So it's that kind of movement that you need to do as part of your life anyway. And then at the other end of the scale, sort of when I'm in a winter, I think, well, that pruning needs doing, but this just isn't the time. And I was thinking about, what is my greatest kindness to myself? And it's really giving myself the permission to go back to bed. Once I've dropped the girls at school, if I'm in my inner winter, is to go back to bed, climb under the duvet, even though there's mountains of things to be done, and let go into it. And often, just sinking into sleep. And so it's letting go of the need to exercise or the need to move at certain times.
Isn't that radical?
Yeah. And it really did feel radical and really hard at the beginning when I first started doing that. And it feels a lot easier with practice. It gets a lot easier, and it just feels so right and so nourishing. And I've been able to see how that supports the rest of the cycle, that as I'm coming out of the winter, then yes, this is the time for movement, and I just get this rush of energy that's there to do all the things that I need to do in the world.
So how does your teaching of yoga shift throughout your seasons?
What I've noticed is when I'm in my inner winter, and particularly if I'm teaching a yoga nidra, things come through that I'm like, where did that come from? It's amazing. It's like I'm sort of channeling these beautiful ideas, and I don't feel like they're my own. They're just coming from somewhere else, and a real connection to nature as well. So very often the yoga nidras will have lots of analogies to nature, or borrowing ideas from nature. And I think it's the deeper I go with the cycle awareness, I think the more kindness I show to my own body and to the people who come to my classes. I just spend all my time sort of saying, it's okay to slow down. It's okay to stop. That's one of the biggest things that I repeat again and again, not only in the general class, but in the pregnancy classes, because very often the pregnant women feel like there's so much to get done before the baby arrives. Got so much to pack in before I go on maternity leave. And we're completely renovating the whole house, or we're moving house,
Always. Why is that?
And I think, there's so much that they want to get ready. And I always find myself saying, find moments to stop. It's okay to slow down. Your body's working very hard, and just keep giving this permission again and again. Same with the postnatal classes, saying, whether it's about sort of body image, a lot of women are conscious about, they want to get back to their pre-pregnancy body, and there's such a pressure around that. So saying, well, you know, just give yourself a bit of leeway, give yourself some time. You know, and very often, because we're living in nuclear families, we don't have lots of extra support. So saying, well, look how hard you're having to work to bring this baby up with very little help, actually. So at the ends of the class, very often you just see them, just sinking into that moment of stillness.
Yes,
and in a way, that's the biggest thing in those classes, is providing a sort of community for them so they can meet other mums, but just saying, stop. Yeah. Just be here with your baby. And I know at home there's laundry and there's shopping to be put away and all the rest of it, but while you're here, this protected space where you can be in this moment before your baby changes again. And yeah, it's very precious.
You have created a truly precious picture of what you're offering lucky women to your classes. Yeah, I mean, it's and I guess it's not just for prenatal, not just for postnatal, it's all of us.
Yeah, it's chronic in our society at the moment. I think this feeling that we have to push ourselves, and I certainly get like that in summer. I have to stop myself trying to be superwoman and taking on too much, and I've got much better at if I have ideas, I've always got ideas bubbling up, but I try to hold on to them for at least one cycle and say, does it still seem a good idea in the autumn, when I'm a bit more critical and thinking a bit more, you know, being a bit more discerning? How does it feel in winter when I'm really aware of how much I've taken on? You know, and if it still seems like a good idea, then I might go with it the next time.
Working that creative cycle, brilliant.
Yeah. So I think it just feeds in. Mostly what I spend my time on offering when I'm doing resources is things like creating a new yoga nidra, because I think this deep rest is what most women really need.
It is. So that's exactly what we're going to do now. As I get a tingle of excitement at the thought of yoga nidra. So yes, if I can hand over to you, and I'm going to make use of this too. So thank you, Tessa. Over to you.
So if you'd like, you're welcome. So if you'd like to sit comfortably, or some of you might want to lie down, just take a moment to have a bit of a wriggle and make any adjustments so you're as comfortable as possible. And when you're ready, closing your eyes. Just taking a moment to tune into your breath. And perhaps making the exhalation a little bit longer. You might find that you sigh or yawn. And using those exhalations as a way to settle. And some people find relaxation really difficult, so it doesn't matter if it takes you a while. You've got as long as you need to drop into this place of rest. Just taking a few breaths to settle, feeling the weight of your body against the chair or whatever you might lie down on. And just check that you've got a little bit of space between the teeth, that your jaw is relaxing. If you have an expression on your face, see if you can let it melt away. And we're going to move around the body bit by bit, encouraging it to let go a little more. And I'd like you to think of an ointment or a cream that has your favourite scent, your favourite smells, maybe jasmine for getting the oxytocin flowing, love hormone or lavender, whatever smells you enjoy. And also it has all the ingredients that you need for your well-being right now. And we're going to apply that ointment, first of all, to your right hand thumb, then the index finger, middle finger, ring finger, and little finger, the palm and the back of the hand, the right wrist and forearm, the right elbow and upper arm, the right shoulder, down the right rib cage, to the right waist, to the hip, and down the right leg, front of the thigh, back of the thigh, the right knee, the soft back of the knee, the shin, calf, ankle, heel, sole of the foot, top of the foot, the right big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, and little toe. All of the toes on the right foot relaxing together, the whole right leg, all of the right arm, the entire right side resting deeply. Bring the awareness over to the left hand thumb, applying the ointments if you like. Then to the index finger, middle finger, ring finger, and little finger. The palm and the back of the hand, the left wrist, forearm, elbow, upper arm, the left shoulder, left side of the rib cage, left side of the waist, the hip, down through the left leg, front of the thigh, back of the thigh, the left knee, the soft back of the knee, shin, calf, ankle, heel, sole of the foot, top of the foot, left big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe and little toe. All of the toes on the left foot resting together, whole left leg, all of the left arm, the entire left side resting deeply now. Then bring your awareness to the back of the body, to the tailbone, sacrum, right buttock, left buttock, lower back, middle back, upper back, right shoulder blade, left shoulder blade, back of the neck, back of the head, the crown, the forehead, the space between the eyebrows, right eyebrow, left eyebrow, right eye, left eye, right temple, left temple, right ear, left ear, bridge of the nose, tip of the nose, right nostril, left nostril, upper lip, lower lip, the chin, front of the throat, the hollow at the base of the throat, right collarbone, left collarbone, down to the breastbone, right breast, left breast, down to the navel, right side of the belly and the left side, right ovary and the left ovary, until the whole of the front of the body and the back has had chance to rest. The whole body now resting profoundly. The whole body. The whole body. And in this feeling of relaxation, having a sense of heaviness, as if you were a leaf in the autumn falling from the tree and landing on the earth. As you breathe in, having a lightness, as if you were a spring bulb pushing up shoots through the earth. Breathing out, feeling heavy, sinking down. Breathing in, feeling light, coming up. Breathing out, heavy. Breathing in, feeling light. Just playfully switching between those sensations. How would it be to be heavy and light at the same time? What would that be like? And then letting go of those opposites and having a sense of, like in the winter, feeling of stillness, like when a tree is dormant, so still. And as you breathe in, having a feeling of summer, of wanting to move, of flying a kite high in the sky, the ribbons whipping through the air. Breathing out, feeling very still. Breathing in, having a sense of movement. Breathing out, stillness. Breathing in, movement. How would it be to be still and moving at the same time? How would that be? Can your mind imagine? And then letting go of those opposites. And we're going to count down. So breathing in first, and as you breathe out, counting 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, let go. Next breath out again, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, let go. And maybe the next time there's some tiredness you want to let go of, or an ache, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, let go. So that physically and emotionally, you're at deep, deep rest. And then to finish, we're going to count up. So as you breathe in now, focusing on the inhalation, we're going to see the number 1 in our mind's eye. The next inhalation, seeing the number 2, inviting more and more energy into the body, counting up 1 at a time. Next inhalation, imagine the energy coming all the way down through the legs to the toes. Next breath in, all the way down through the arms to the fingertips. And the next breath in, all the way up to the top of the head. So that by the time that you reach number 9, or even if you lost count, you can feel this lovely balance between feeling rested, but with a gentle energy behind it. So just let that land with you, this lovely balance. And we're going to take 3 more loose breaths. So big breath in, maybe sighing or yawning out. Starting to move fingers and toes. Last one. Ready for the rest of the day or the rest of your evening, depending on when you're listening to this. And you might want to have a big stretch and a bit of a move around. Only when you're ready, opening your eyes, making that transition back to a more everyday state of awareness with all the benefits going with you of the Yoga Nidra.
Thank you. Now I've got to say the words to bring our chat to a close. Isn't it amazing what can be done in a short space of time?
Yeah, and that really is the beauty of the Yoga Nidra, is that if you've only got 10 minutes, you can do a 10-minute long one and you won't come round groggy, you'll be fresh to go. So it's one of the most amazing tools, I think, for the menstruality and the cycle awareness. Yeah.
Isn't it? Thank you. Do you know what? Tessa, you walk this earth as a, I've said it a few times, as a gentle, wise, powerful woman. So thank you for bringing that to today and sharing the possibilities of menstruality and menstrual cycle awareness and movement. Let's ditch the word exercise.
Yay! Absolutely. Oh, it's been a pleasure.
Huge thanks, huge hugs, and
Yeah.
we'll see you soon.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye bye.